welcome to a beautiful day here in Surprise, Arizona with a Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series powered by Geico Power Sports. Ken Stout, Cameron Steele ready to call all the action for you here. Round number 3. This is the MagnaFlow Exhaust Off-Road Nationals. The track, we saw it last year, produced some great results, but it's much different out here today.
It definitely is, and Bryce Menzies, one of the young guns of our sport. Big hitter, many wins here, very comfortable, but they have gone and changed the track. The jumps are bigger, the whoops are different, they're a lot more technical, and of course, one thing that stayed the same is the dirt and the conditions here in Arizona. A little bit of wind here, a little bit of heat can dry the track out so fast, and what is loamy and nice in the early part of the race becomes blue-grooved, hard and dusty at the end of the race. Very tricky to pick the right tire.
Carl Renazetter, who struggled in rounds 1 and 2, back up on the pole.
That's right, he looks so good in qualifying. Rob McCacker right behind him. You mentioned earlier that Carl Renazetter was 6th in the final practice, though, but I think he's just messing around trying to pick the tire combination that he wants for later in the race. This is going to be a dogfight with almost 25 trucks on the course.
The Pro 2s are on deck. We just finished up the Pro Lights. Brian Deegan put another win in the box. Good for him. He is just one, by the way, behind Rodrigo Ampudia at this particular point in overall standings for career wins. There's a look at the kid that dominated here 1 year ago, Bryce Menzies, standing 6'4", has a ton of driving talent. He's yet to develop all that. He's very, very young, but coming along, and certainly has proven that he has the speed. Blanco Basura sponsorship on that. And here's a look at your KMC Wheels starting grid. Greg Adler will start off on the pole alongside Jeremy McGrath, of course, legendary motocross racer. As we look a little deeper in the field, RJ's back down in there. There's Bryce in row 5 alongside Todd LeDuc. Robert Knott, new to the category. And a little deeper in the field yet, we'll find Kevin Probst, very seasoned, alongside Jeff Geiser. Robbie Woods, Jesse Jones down in there. And Chuck Dempsey and Nick Tyree, part of the final 4 back there in the back of the pack. A loaded field out here, Cam.
Definitely, and also mixed in there was Kerry Hart, the first person to put a backflip down on the dirt. And you'll see the 2 fastest trucks are coming from the second row because of inversion, but Jeremy McGrath on that front row, very dangerous with that 5-speed Toyota Tundra Monster Energy truck. He is someone definitely to watch, but Rob McCacker and Carl Renazetter are coming from row 2, the fastest trucks in qualifying.
A great roar of those engines. Big issues right there between Mike Johnson and Robert Knott, already has the hood bashed in.
And the 4-wheel parts wholesaler number 10 of Greg Adler has his rear view mirror full of that white truck, which is a Lucas Oil truck driven by Carl Renazetter as they make turn number 3 and head to the whoops there, pulled up side by side. Adler a little crossed up going through the whoops. Carl with the great line, and he takes the spot, goes right up underneath and takes the line from Adler.
Let's check in with Rob.
Guys, en route to the 2009 Pro 2 Championship, Carl Renazetter won just 3 times, none of which that came here at Surprise, Arizona. His best finish was a 2nd. Yesterday in qualifying, he was fast time, 8/10 quicker than the rest of the field. Also celebrated his 46th birthday. The 17 truck is ready to rock. Here in practice, he was very fast, but they found some shavings in a scavenge filter in the transmission. They changed the transmission, they changed the converter, no chassis adjustments. That 17 is ready to rock. I spoke with Mike Seat, the head wrench, and he said, guys, we are going to the front. To Kelly Snyder.
Earlier today, I spoke with a much more confident and relaxed Jeremy McGrath. He said he's only been racing short course trucks for a short while, but he said the more time he's had in them, the more relaxed and confident he becomes. He said this is the first race he's actually not been nervous. He started on the pole. He's right behind Carl Renazetter for 2nd right now, and if he can hold on to it, I think his confidence and relaxation will help him pull the win.
And you know, talking about McGrath, as we take a look at Ricky Johnson, by the way, the 48 truck, trying to pick his way up through there. A new truck for him this weekend, but McGrath has had a truck fast enough to win. Unfortunately, has had bad luck, and then when he gets a good starting spot, it seems as though the truck isn't fast enough to win. So he just hasn't had that right mix just yet, but he's proven he can run fast enough to pass anybody out here. I think today, though, he's going to have to deal with that number 17 truck as Carl Renazetter has passed him for the lead. There's a look at your candidate, top 5. Everybody chasing Carl. We're back back at Speed World Off-Road Park with a MagnaFlow exhaust dual in the desert. Carl Rennesetter leads the Pro 2 division around. We've just gotten started here in the race. It is early on. McGrath in second place. There's a look at the number 7 truck. Bryce Menzies doing a great job. One of your teammates, Cam. How focused is this kid?
He's definitely focused, and at 22 years of age, you'd think he'd be a little more erratic, but he is so spot on and willing to put it in the positions that are risky, but also he's not a guy that has a lot of contact. You see him coming right at you through the whoops in the number 7, super clean, Bully Dog O'Neill sponsored machine, and he's been very solid. Winning here, I think, put a little bit of extra pressure on him coming into this round after he won a couple times last year.
Tyler Duke just ahead of him in the number 8 truck, and he's rolling up there behind the 48 truck of Ricky Johnson with the Traxxas sponsorship on the side of that one. Those two guys actually have a little bit of history over the past few years. Not very good history, but history nonetheless.
Well, there's not always good history, and one person who definitely has been working hard. Oh, look at this. The number 76, a local boy from Glendale, Arizona, Jesse Jones, who just recently won the Baja Score San Felipe 250 in the desert truck, so he's no stranger to winning, but hooked up on the K-rail there, not a good place to be.
Yeah, he'll be done here for the day in this short race, and Rodrigo right up there beside Rob McCachran, leaning on him, definitely giving him a look right there to say, I'm here. And great onboard shot.
We should definitely point out Rob, one of the smoothest and cleanest drivers in the series. We spoke earlier to Rodrigo. We know he's willing to bump and grind a little bit. This is a nervous position for a driver like Rob, who's racing for a championship, to have someone so fast and willing to get in the mix with Rodrigo and Pudia behind him as we get the full course yellow. Looks like Jesse's little yard sale here is stopping the motion of the race.
Get over there and put a hook on him, get him out of the way. We'll continue on when we come back. Off-road racing series powered by Geico Power Sports. We're in the Pro 2 division, round number 3. MagnaFlow exhaust dual in the desert. Carl Rennesetter, who struggled in the first 2 rounds in the Pro 2 division, is showing these guys the way around here this weekend. Qualified on the pole and has taken over the lead.
I'll tell you one thing Carl has been really good at is tire selection. He's been working with the general tire guys, and he has picked a good tire for qualifying. Now he's moved to the front in the race, so you think his tire selection is good. We'll see how it pays off at the end of the race when the track conditions change. We'll see exactly how right Carl was on his tires.
Jeremy McGrath in second place as we go on board with the Lucas Oil back machine. Carl Rennesetter. And that Mud Eater face mask, nice and clean. Jeremy McGrath right behind him would like to spray a little bit of mud on it. He has the TRD Massage 358 cubic inch power plant underneath his hood. And of course, massive horsepower courtesy of Bill Schleper and Pro Power under the hood of Carl Rennesetter. And so far, that combination's working best out here today.
What a great shot. Carl drifting into the soft, into the loam, which at times can eat up the horsepower you're putting to the ground, but it worked out perfect for him as both Jeremy and Rob Mack wedged a little bit on the bottom of the track.
Rob starting to show Jeremy McGrath a nose there just a little bit.
And you saw the move by McCachran. He turned the wheel, went a little bit to the outside, looking to carry more speed there, but again, and Pudia is right behind him. Rob has to be careful, both racing in front and watching what's happening behind him. All the drivers have spotters up in the stands, so they're getting information as to what's happening around him. Adler in the mix still as well as he breaks traction a little bit there in turn number 4.
Great look here, McGrath hanging right on Carl Rennesetter, and I really think McGrath had the truck to win the race at Las Vegas on Sunday, round 2, but unfortunately had to start from the back of the field. Gets a good run on Carl right there, has to check up just a little bit to stay out of the side of him. Oh, in the back, McCachran with a good save.
And Carl out to that edge again. You saw Jeremy kind of get up in the middle of the corner, then shoot back down through the apex and try to get to the inside. It didn't work out as Carl gapped him just a bit, but McGrath is in a little bit more nimble truck. You talk about the weight differences. You have to carry a percentage of weight to the power that you have on board. So McGrath's truck almost 10% lighter, making it a little more nimble, able to throw it into maybe a couple different situations. We'll see if it can work out for him.
And back to the two power plants, I mean, they are drastically different. Pro Power, oh, and Adler over-rotates a bit, but Pro Power underneath the hood of Carl's, some 900 horsepower and massive amounts of torque. Then the 358 massaged by TRD. Basically, an engine in McGrath's truck that came out of the NASCAR truck ranks, but had a very narrow power band because they typically don't shift. So they had to change a lot inside of that power plant. Now it's coming along. As you can see, a lot of power there as the mandatory caution comes out, and McCackron almost runs into the back of McGrath, who checks up a little bit quick after the finish line. All right, come on back for the back half of this race. It's going to be good. We're back at Speed World Off-Road Park with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series powered by Geico Power Sports, the MagnaFlow exhaust. Duel in the desert. Pro 2 action. The back half of the race, this is the start. After the competition caution, Carl Renesetter leads the group around.
You spoke about Jeremy McGrath, who's in second place, being newer to short course truck racing. Right behind him, Rob McCackron, 165 off-road race wins. Are you kidding me, people? The guy is a great driver. Multiple championships, both in desert and short course. That's someone that Jeremy's got to be worried about. Is look at Rob setting up, going outside in, trying to find a way around. And oh, bad news for Ricky Johnson.
The Red Bull back machine. And it sounded like he was trying to start it right there, so problems. Oh, and he does get it fired back up.
So Ricky will get back into the race. The mandatory caution has gone by. You can see dust developing on the track. Let's check in with Rob Klepper.
And guys, right now the second fastest truck on the racetrack by just 1/100th, the 15 of Jeremy McGrath. Now McGrath wants to win this event. We don't know how much we're going to see him this year, but he did tell the crew that this track is starting to come to the truck. It's getting faster, and he thinks he can reel in Carl Renesetter the second half of this race.
All that what Rob's talking about, Jeremy saying, and I was talking about the dust. The track is drying out. So when he says the track's coming to him, that means his truck is better suited for a drier, maybe slick, fast track, as we see Bryce Menzies trying to do work here in the number 7 truck, trying to get up there on Mike Johnson, the number 31 all-black truck.
Mike Johnson having a great run out here today. Finally putting the pieces together here. 2-truck effort. Oh, Robbie Pierce way hooked up. Who was he slamming into the side, driving into the side of, maybe I should say?
It's a Speed Technology
Jeff Ward.
truck.
Wow.
And it looks like Wardy might have a problem with that truck. The 3X, and I remember he was the runner-up to the championship in Pro 2 last year. As we jump forward.
That was Robert Nunn, by the way, with no hood on the front of the truck. Robert having a great run here, brand new to the class. Of course, former Pro Light champion. Looking out of the back of Jeff Ward, looks like he's back on the gas now.
And that's his team owner directly behind him, John Hara, and just in the blue truck, and right next to him, Chuck Dempsey, his other teammate.
Kerry Hart there with a MAV TV sponsored machine. Kerry Hart with a full season effort a year ago. Woo! Right beside Martinson.
Martinson in the silver truck, Squirrel Dog in just a little bit. Kerry Hart makes the move stick. And Kerry, not just a truck racer, races motorcycles still and rides them, also an entrepreneur with his own tattoo company and clothing company, Hart and
Martinson, Squirrel Dog and big time back in there, trying to gather it all back up.
Which is all good, as we saw Rick Johnson get by. For Ricky Johnson, it's good news, but Carl Renesetter,
looks like he's sitting on the couch, man. He's in the recliner right there.
A great gap shot from the General Tire onboard camera as he airs it out over those 2 huge front straight jumps. Last year, those jumps were not as big. This turn number 1 was not as wide. The trucks couldn't drive it as deep, and great job by Rob Mack and Ampudia, both racing very clean. And oh,
man,
wow, Ampudia has to make a little steering correction not to get into the back of Mack, but time is dwindling down. If Rodrigo in that number 36 wants to get by, he may have to be a little more vicious. He's been keeping it very clean.
Look at the suspension on those trucks. I mean, they are just absolutely maxing them out as they lean those things over.
You talk about suspension. Interesting here is Rob Mack and Rodrigo Ampudia, who spins out, are both Fox Racing shock trucks, so they have both similar development to their trucks, and a great move by Ampudia to get the truck back around. No contact in there.
Maybe he should call Mike Johnson, tell him he's got a little stunt driver action inside of him.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Rob's got an update on the chaos on the track. Rob?
And guys, you can see right behind me, turn number 5 as they make their way onto the backstretch before the big tabletop here at Speed World. A lot of dust. These drivers are having trouble seeing turn number 5 and working their way down the back straightaway. We just saw Rodrigo and Pudia spin out and created even more dust. So some of the crews back here behind me can't even see the track. The driver's having trouble on the backstretch. We just saw Wardy come in, change the right rear. He is heading back out. A lot of mayhem here in Pro 2 on the back straightaway.
And Cam, you're very familiar with this. Oh, and a problem there for Rob McCachran, who just stumbles as well. Obviously racing, that's what he's talking about right there. You see that turn right there, man, it just kicks it up. But you've been out in the desert, and the dust is the absolute worst. You'd rather have mud all day long than dust.
Well, the one thing about the dust is it's so blinding. You just can't see through it. A whiteout is what we call it. In some instances in that corner number 5, they're getting a whiteout condition where the trucks are kicking up so much dust they can't see. Mud, of course, you can clear your visor and keep going, but the dust is something just hanging in there. It's very tough.
Carl Rennezetter are making it look easy today. McGrath with big-time speed just didn't have it at the right time. I don't know if he's going to have enough to catch Carl, but he certainly has enough to match Carl. That, in and of itself, is pretty impressive.
It definitely is, and watching these 3 trucks using a lot of the same lines, it looks like McGrath might be diving a little bit more to the inside in the middle of the corners, but that might be inherent of the way that his truck shifts. But right there, really using the same lines, all 3 trucks. So they found the fast spot on the track, and they're using it up, and there's the dust storm.
You know, also Mike Seat, Brett Rapella, the rest of the guys on Carl's team, and they have had some changes in that team here coming into this weekend, but their feelings were hurt in Vegas. That is a championship caliber team. He comes by to pick up his first win for the 2010 season. He's the second winningest driver in the history of the Pro 2 division, but those guys had their feelings hurt in Las Vegas. You see what a championship caliber team does. They go back, they do their homework. You talk about tires. Of course, Travis Roffler, also Dana out here representing General Tire. They are very passionate about it, and that team comes back to the front and they pick up a win.
And MC, Jeremy McGrath, 7-time Supercross champion, matches his best finish in second place as we take a look at the Rockstar Energy results.
Rennezetter, McGrath, McCachran, of course. Also, tip of the hat to Dale Dondell in the top 10 after that huge yard dart that he had a few months ago. Glad to see him back inside of the truck, and he's okay. Carl Rennezetter, yeah, victory donuts for everybody, baby. That team wanted it bad. E3 spark plugs, race recap. Here we go, Cam.
Taking a look back, Rennezetter making the move on Jeremy McGrath, and he would make it stick even though McGrath wanted back through. Jesse Jones having problems of his own.
Competition caution comes out. McGrath would have another crack at Rennezetter, but just would not have enough today. Actually pulls away as Ricky Johnson has his fair share of issues with a brand new truck. And Carl Rennezetter just drives away even through the dust. Rodrigo loops it around one time. And Rennezetter finishes up round 3 on the podium. There's a look at your MagnaFlow exhaust point standings. McCachran on top, followed by RJ, Rodrigo, Bryce, and Rennezetter. Let's talk to our winner.
Carl Rennezetter, you said your truck felt like $1 million out there. It obviously did. Paid off. Take us through this great race.
Well, you know, the track was prepped really well at the beginning. I thought it was going to be a little slick, but my truck was hooked up, and as the race progressed, it started to get hard and blue, and I was thinking, okay, here we go. It's, you know, starting to slick off a little bit, but, you know, I was just trying to ride the cushion a little bit. Then Jeremy started peeking inside, so I had to take that away. And then actually there was a little bit of a cushion on the inside that I found, so it worked out pretty well, and I didn't make too many mistakes and put this Lucas Oil General Tire truck on top of the box. So, you know, we're really happy. First win of the season, and feels great.
Well, the birthday boy is having the best luck out here in Surprise, Arizona.
Thank you.
What a great day racing, and both the champions in Pro Light and Pro 2 come up with their first wins on the season. I think they're very happy.
Round number 4, and it's powered by Geico Power Sports. Ken Stout, Cameron Steele, ready to call all the action for you. And of course, we have to talk about this guy because he is our Pro 2 points leader.
And Rob McCachran's a bad man, over 160 individual race wins, and proving so far that he is the class of the field. And this man, 2 wins back-to-back in rounds 1 and 2, but a new truck set him back just a bit in round number 3. We'll see if he can get back to it here in round number 4.
Rodrigo Ampudia, of course, we always talk about him. Very, very hungry to get that first win, really hanging it out. In round 3, the speed is back. Time now for the fire-breathing Pro 2s, Stout and Steel, ready to call all the action for you here at Surprise, Arizona. It is the MagnaFlow exhaust. Duel in the desert. And before we go any further, one more time, we'll kick it back down to Kelly.
A late night for Carl Rennesener and his crew. I spoke to them earlier. They said they went to bed at dawn. They got up. They had 2 hours of sleep. They had to replace a lot of things in the truck, including the torque converter. He has his Pro 4 spare converter in the Pro 2. He said off the start it's going to be extremely tight. He's going to have to be really touchy during those first couple of laps. But once he starts to feel comfortable, he said he'll get the hang of it, and he thinks the truck will run smoothly.
And so when she's talking about the torque converter, it's what sets up how you ramp up the transmission, how fast it spools up, so to speak. So if he's using his Pro 4, it's going to be a little bit different than the 2-wheel drive setup. He's going to have to get used to it as we take a look at our KMC Wheels Pro 2 starting grid.
Greg Adler and Rodrigo Ampudia, of course, up on the front row. Take a look down through there. Of course, Ricky Johnson, who struggled a little bit in round number 3, but was leading in the points coming in here. Down a little deeper in the pack. We'll also find Dale Dondell, of course, the desert standout, also a little deeper in the field, but this is a huge field of trucks. Todd LeDuc, a surprise all the way at the very end of the field, starting in the 22nd position. Of course, 1 year ago, he was the man to beat out here.
Well, he had problems in qualifying, wasn't able to get the lap times put down, and here you're on board the Bully Dog onboard camera of Bryce Menzies. He was a winner last year when we were here at Surprise. Last round, he was 5th position.
Boy, Carl Rennesener are a little squirrely there coming down the front straightaway as they go 3 wide through turn number 1. A great overhead shot there.
Really a great illustration of the ruse from the General Tire onboard cam, but Rodrigo Ampudia in the Papas and Beer Lucas Oil truck lead him into the whoop section the first time through. You can see those trucks just dancing.
And Rob Naughton in the back is turned completely sideways. Todd LeDuc manages to miss it somehow. There comes Jeff Ward squirting through the middle. And Todd LeDuc backs right into Rob Naughton, not knowing he was there.
And not new to this class, the Stronghold Motorsports Ready Lift machine has all kinds of problems. We'll see if he can get going as Carl Rennesener and Greg Adler do a little touching, and the track definitely a little loose and a little muddy in some spots, so this is going to be tough for vision for drivers that are behind, but also kind of like a slip and slide as we take a look back to see what happened. It looks like Jeremy McGrath and the number 15 truck involved as well.
Yeah, McGrath in there, and of course the Duke just clipping the front end there. Lucky he saved that one.
And
the
John
number 13
Harry,
truck, John Harry, yeah. So a pile of those guys back in there.
Look at this save by LeDuc turning into it. What a great job. Climbs up the berm. Ward gets by, but here comes not knowing what's in the dust. And ooh, LeDuc giving it all to him in reverse.
Tough hit right there. There's a look at Robbie Woods and the number 99 Lucas Oil slick miss back machine. And underneath him is Mike Johnson. We talked about him a number of times, a stunt car driver by trade, just a super individual, great racer, and Robbie Woods is really coming along nicely as Ricky Johnson now in the 48 truck. Looks like he's got the bugs worked out of that one.
And we've mentioned a couple times, he won rounds 1 and 2, and then in round 3, he wasn't on the podium, but it's an all-new truck. So yes, it's still Red Bull Tracks, the sponsor, but it's a different truck that he's campaigning here this weekend. So in round number 4, he's looking to get back to that podium position as he's 2nd in the points right now.
Kelly, you have more on Greg Adler.
I spoke to Greg Adler right before the race, and he said starting on the pole, he was really excited, but had one concern. He did not want to get involved with the bad blood rising between Rodrigo Ampudia and Robbie Woods. They've had some history in the past, and he said, as long as I can stay away from that, I think I should be good and be able to stay on all fours.
Well, and he knows all about bad blood. Him and, of course, Jerry Welchel a year ago.
At this very track.
Got a little ugly out here.
Well, the one thing is, you know, Jesse Jones said it the best. You put on your killer whale suit and your helmet, turn off your brain, and and anything can happen. And you know what? Someone might be your good friend, but you can't really tell what's going on inside the truck. You get nerfed or bumped by someone, and you just think, oh, someone just took me out, or it's their fault. You never really know until you get out of the truck and look at the tape. And let's get an update on Ricky Johnson from Rob.
And guys, we keep an eye on that Team Red Bull number 48 of Ricky Johnson, who swept rounds 1 and 2 in Las Vegas, told me that he wants to race as much as he can here in 2010. This truck that we see, he purchased that from the Jenkins boys. He talked to Mike Jenkins, bought a truck, and that's the truck he's going to race all season long with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. They struggled a little bit here in round number 3. Right now, running pack trying to make some moves here in round 4.
Yeah, and he just passed Jeff Geiser and Robbie Woods. And speaking of those two, that's a little sketchy through the rhythm section.
And it's interesting, both these trucks built by the driver inside the truck. Robbie Woods inside the Slick Miss number 99, built his truck in his shop up in Pahrump, Nevada. Rick Geiser and Jeff Geiser, Jeff driving here in the candidate truck. They build off-road trucks for a living. This is their first short course truck that they built that Jeff's driving as Robbie Woods brings it around. Dale Dondell does a good job to keep his nose clean, so to speak, there in the number 11.
Todd LeDuc in some trouble back there. You see him backing back out onto the track, and I believe he got into it with Martinson, if I'm not mistaken. So we go back up towards the front. Rob McCachran driving underneath Greg Adler in the four-wheel parts back machine.
And a little bit of contact there, and it's uncharacteristic for you. Oh, and it looks like maybe he was going by because there was a problem there with Adler as the number 10 four-wheel parts wholesaler machine pulls to a stop, and that's a dangerous place to be stopped on the outside of that turn. We'll probably see a caution to get that truck, and there it is. The full course caution comes out, so they'll stay in line as we get Adler off the race course.
The track crew on it immediately. We'll go back and take a look at this action between, of course, Robbie Woods and Jeff Geiser, and Robbie Woods all the way around, pretty much on his own. And then you said it before, Dale Dondell, good presence of mind. There is Martinson.
Yep, you called it. Martinson was part of the problem there with LeDuc, and LeDuc just having a shocker here in round 4. And this is where Adler pulled off and brought out the full course caution.
Greg Adler, oh so close to picking up his first win just 1 year ago. Still searching for that. There's a look at your General Tire Top 5. We're having a lot of fun here with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series powered by Geico Power Sports. This is the MagnaFlow exhaust. Duel in the desert. Everybody's chasing the kid from Ensenada, Mexico. Rodrigo Ampudia in the Pro 2 division, and Bryce Menzies smacking the berm off that final turn there as they restart. And boy, it's got a little sketchy there for a moment.
Squirrel dogging it just a bit. Ampudia in the fast line, but leaving the door open to the inside just a bit there. Carl Renezetter, as we go on board with the General Tire Cam, you can see Rob McCachran in the number 21 Rockstar Energy Drink machine. He's hockey Carl, so to speak.
Well, you could hear the roost off the back of Carl's truck hitting the back bar. He makes contact with Rodrigo. Rodrigo up high, and now McCachran trying to take the spot away from both of them.
And he saw a puff of smoke. It might have just been tire smoke puffing up there off Rodrigo's truck when they contacted, but maybe something else as Rodrigo's pulled off and pulled up lame.
Up high, down low as he ducks down underneath Carl Renezetter, and it looks like Rob McCachran will take the lead. Woo! Renezetter right back taking a look, and McCachran with a chance at winning his first race of the season.
Wow. Oh, and
Robbie Woods.
We were just talking about Robbie.
Taken out of the truck right here. Needless to say, that one's done for the day. See what happened.
Oh, full tumble for Woods. Everybody does a great job getting around it. We didn't see the beginning, not sure what happened.
Nonetheless, he is done and out of the truck safely. There's your General Tire Top 5. This is the MagnaFlow exhaust duel in the desert. Everybody's chasing the Rockstar Energy Drink back machine. Number 21, Rob McCachran. Here comes Carl Renezetter with a great restart. A big run on Mac.
A big run to the inside, but that outside to middle to outside's the fastest line. And you see Carl has to wedge. He might even got on the binders a little bit, so he didn't come up and hit Rob Mack. But Rob in the fast line, he's going to maintain that number 1 position. But Carl, the double champion from last year, both in the 4-wheel drives and 2-wheel drives, as we have more contact this time.
The Johnson & Johnson crew.
Ricky Johnson And Mike Johnson in the 31 making the move past RJ.
Good friends off the track, but maybe not so much anymore. There's McGrath and Bryce Menzies going at it. Oh, and McGrath completely around.
And it looked like Menzies got up over the front of McGrath's truck. These guys are like magnets a bit. Back in Las Vegas, there was some contact there as well. So tough luck for McGrath. Bryce keeps going as this race here between the two Johnsons continues on. You can see those ruts are really starting to develop as we take a look back. This is Johnson and Johnson, as you called it, heads up, and wow, Ricky really takes a violent hit there.
I think if it wasn't for Mike, Ricky would have been in trouble, kind of using him to set back down. This is where it all got started, actually.
And actually, Bryce Menzies in the number 7 Bully Dog Super Clean machine was involved there. And there you see McGrath and he getting together. Looks like McGrath might have broke a little traction. And Bryce just helped himself right up over the hood of Jeremy's truck and kept going.
Plenty of traction there, no problem. Plenty of smoke right there. And that is Jeff Geiser bailing out. You can see a fire there, and it looks like possibly some transmission fluid or power steering fluid running down over that converter. Those converters get so hot, they start a fire immediately, but guys are out and okay in the Canada all-natural pet foods back machine.
And there you saw a great shot of those ruts, and it looked like maybe Carl in second place straightening out, going through those a bit, going way to the outside and catching the edge of the berm.
Johnson way sideways there again as he sets up for turn number 1. Bryce Menzies and Jeremy McGrath. Showtime is out of the hunt.
And McGrath in a precarious position. The fire by Jeff Geiser there. It's going to bring out the red flag. We're going to stop all the trucks on the track and re-rack them for a restart.
There's a look at your General Tire top 5. How about Jeff Ward after that first lap mayhem? It's worked his way into it. This is the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, powered by Geico Power Sports. Plenty of action as we left. You brought out the red flag here at the MagnaFlow exhaust duel in the desert. Rob McCachran leads them back around.
Rob Mack, always so buttery smooth, but right now, heaps of pressure from behind. The champion, Carl Renesetter, the runner-up in the championship, Jeff Ward, right behind him, running in 3rd position right now. So, great onboard shot there of Carl flying. If there was a rear view mirror, Rob might be a little nervous with that.
Oh, and speaking of Ward, he almost over-rotates right there behind Carl Renesetter. That'll cost him a couple of spots as Ricky Johnson and Bryce Menzies pick it up and drive underneath him. Yeah, Jeff Ward, speaking of him, I mean, a year ago, he literally lost the championship in the last lap of the last race. What a great run, what a great effort in his rookie season.
And of course, Jeff Ward and Ricky Johnson spent some time on the motocross track on their way to AMA championships. It's good to have them both out here racing in the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. But right now, 2 trucks separating themselves is wedged between those motorcycle racing veterans is Bryce Menzies in that number 7 truck, part of the Big Red Machine, the team that I race for here. And he's trying to get up behind Ricky while trying to defend what's coming from behind, which is, of course, Jeff Ward we were just talking about. So Bryce doing a great job right now inside the top 5, but I know he's a little bit frustrated. He's got a great power package from Croyer Racing Engines, and they've been working really hard with the tuning of the truck, and it's been virtually spot on. It's just there's so many trucks at this point and so many great drivers that are spot on at this very moment.
Boy, take a look at that track. It is rutting up big time, but that's the beauty of off-road racing. The suspension can handle it. It's all about driver finesse and how you get through it, because if you don't do it properly, you'll end up on your lid.
And one thing you're talking about, driver finesse and the rough tracks, the guys at Fox Racing Shocks, who Rob McCachran tests for, they develop all kinds of different settings. It's not just for the jumps, but it's also for putting traction down on the ground. Another guy that's great at setup of the truck, Carl Renesetter. So as we're seeing this track change from wet, a little loamy, a little slippery, to where it's now a little bit dusty, it's dry, it's got some ruts, these 2 guys are really excelling. They're in the front of the pack. They're finding the lines that are working good for their trucks. These guys really know how to make their truck work in in so many different conditions, and so do their crews that build them.
It's amazing to see the tires off the ground. And the left front tire, look at that thing right there. As it gets through those ruts, a white flag will come out here. But keep in mind, these trucks weigh the better part of 4,000 pounds. So they roll them over onto a huge sway bar as they just plant those tires here late in the race. It is unbelievable to watch these guys. Hey, there's a look at Robert Naughton, who we saw on lap 1 in the middle of the mayhem.
And he's lost some body panels there, but the number 54 continues on. That's the yellow roof truck, and he's trying to get by Mike Johnson in the number 31. And
Mike has that right front flat tire, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, it's tough. You saw him get on the binders. He had to slow it down, check up, and kind of diamond off that corner to get through there safely, and he lets not lets him by, but he has to give up the spot.
Another great look here. This is the final turn coming around for the checkered flag. Rob McCachran looking to pick up his first win of the 2010 season after finishing in second place. He's been on the podium every time, but finally gets it done out here in round number 4. Carl Renazetter right behind him in a great battle. Good run for Ricky Johnson as well. He puts it up on the box for the 3rd out of 4 attempts this season.
And taking a look at Rob Mack, continues to add to his treasure trove of trophies. 5 Baja 1000 wins to his credit. And there Carl Renazetter pulling up alongside, giving a little bit of credit where credit is due as Rob Mack takes down the win. Here we look at the Rockstar Energy Drink Pro 2 Unlimited results. McCachran, Renazetter, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, and Jeff Ward, our top 5.
By the way, former Pro Light champ Rob Naughton there in 6th place. Another great run for him. But that's the man of the day right there for round number 4. Rob McCachran getting it done, his 18th career Pro 2 victory. We'll talk to him when we come back. Race recap. Rodrigo Ampudia right off the bat leads the group around, but we had Mayhem back behind him.
A great save by Todd LeDuc. Of course, Jeremy McGrath involved, as well as Robert Naughton, and this took out Todd LeDuc's chances of moving forward in the field. Contact between Ampudia and Renazetter would cost Ampudia the shot at his first ever class win.
It would also give Rob McCachran a chance to take over the lead, and he would do so 2 turns later and eventually hang on to it for the win. Excellent job for Rob McCachran.
Rob McCachran, I know you said you were leaving the truck. The big changes you made were the tires. They obviously paid off. You pulled off a win here today in Surprise.
Yeah, you know, Rockstar Energy, BF Goodrich Tires, Mastercraft Safety, you know, we constantly are working hard, testing, trying to improve the truck, and it did. We did. You know, we did our homework last night, made changes to it for qualifying. We ended up qualifying first. They inverted us to the 6th row, and, you know, we just took our time and waited for people, and we got it. When Rodrigo kind of got a little bit out of shape, and Carl coming down through the moguls, he went up and hit the K-rail. That was my opportunity to dive right to the inside there in that turn. From there on, we were just looking straight ahead and trying to keep Carl in the rearview mirror. He made sure that I could see him, I'm sure of it. But, you know, we can't thank our, you know, Lucas Oil for putting the series on, and Rockstar Energy.
Well, a great battle for you guys out there. Congratulations on the first.
Thank you very much.
Great run by the master here today. There's a look at the points. Rob McCachran just ahead of RJ.
And of course Ampudia, but then Renazetter and Menzies tied for that 4th position. The battle is heating up early in the season.
It will rage all season long. Hey, how about that guy on site to watch it? He loves it. That is Forrest Lucas, the president of Lucas Oil Products, and Carl Renazetter explaining why he didn't win, you think?
Probably just a little bit, but it looks like excitement just about racing, which is what this series is all about.
He's had a great run. He's had 6 podiums and 8 attempts this season. So